We are back again with another AI practical use case video. In today's video, I'll be showcasing how to build a $5,000 AI solution for your AI automation agency. We're going to be utilizing Vectorshift as our AI automation platform to help us. For the people who do not know or are new here, I have a whole series on making practical use case videos with Vectorshift as well as with other platforms, so I'll leave a link to that in the description below. But Vectorshift is a platform that enables anyone to easily build AI agents as well as assistants that can help you automate almost any task without writing any sort of code. You can live sync your data wherever it sits, whether that's Notion, Airtable, Google Drive, and so many other sources. You can use the AI features to automate customer service, lead generation, sales, operation assistance, and so many other things. You can have it basically as a practical assistant, and you can develop this all within Vectorshift. Today, we're going to be creating an AI automated solution for someone looking to start an AI agency. This tool will help us create the automation with the drag and drop UI. So with that thought, guys, stay tuned and let's get straight into the video. Now, before we get started, I definitely recommend that you take a look at the Patreon page so that you can access the new subscriptions that we'll be releasing this week. If you would like to book a consulting call with me, you can do so with the link in the description below as well. Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video at the world of AI. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at another practical use case where I'm going to be showcasing how to build a 5,000 AI solution for any sort of AI automation agency. So what you want to do is head over to the Vectorshift website. Once you are here, you can obviously browse through some of the features that they have, but what we're going to be doing is creating an account by clicking on the Get Started button. This is where you can create an account with your email address or with Google or with GitHub. So once you have done that, we'll be right back. And once you have created your account, you'll be then sent over to the dashboard of Vectorshift. This is your pipeline page where you're going to be dealing with all your automations or all your chatbots that you create. And this is where you can edit them, deploy them, and you can export them as well. If you are to go to the marketplace, you can actually adopt any of the pre-made community-based, like I would say, assistants as well as automations. So for example, you can take a look at the chatbot on Vectorshift example. You can utilize different sorts of automations on productivity, recruitment, for example, customer support, image generation, voice, chat, and so many other avenues as that what you can do with the automations that are being provided from the marketplace. You have a storage where you can upload your own storage. You can utilize different automations, chatbots, and so much more. Analytics is a great way for you to track different sorts of, I would say, data on who is utilizing your chatbot or your automation. And this is a great way for you to get a good understanding of what is happening on the back end. But now that we have a good familiar idea as to this background on Vectorshift, let's get started with this example. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be automating a certain type of pipeline. Now, this pipeline is called RFP, which stands for Request for Proposals. This is a very popular pipeline for many customers, clients, or in businesses as well. And they basically are these documents that are issued by companies or even the government to request for solutions and for people to bid on these solutions. And what I have done is that I have actually found a random RFP online, and this is to demonstrate what I will be automating and how we're potentially going to be commercializing it. This RFP is some government in Michigan that's actually looking for an AI chatbot. So I actually copy and pasted it into this Word doc, and I'm going to be actually feeding it to the Vectorshift platform. Now, RFPs generally involve a lot of questions, like to talk about your company's background, what have you done previously, and so much more. And these are questions that could be demanding, especially at scale, which is why we're proposing this AI automation to actually answer those questions in RFP and potentially make some money off of it. So let's get started. What you want to do is click on the new button, and this will take you to create pipeline. And you can see that this is another marketplace where you can actually utilize all the pre-made templates such as search a document template, search a website template, and so many other automations that have been already created. For example, you can automate your Gmail processing. You can automate Google Drive, Google Docs, and so many other things. You have different assistants, chatbots, productivity, finance, content creation, and so much more. But for this particular use case, we're just going to be creating a pipeline from scratch. And we simply just create this, click on this button, and it'll take us to our environment where we're going to be utilizing this drag and drop UI to create this pipeline. Usually, every pipeline starts off with an input node as well as an output node. This is so that user queries come in and they go out to whatever desired location you want. So we will set this far apart and then we'll start placing in the other blocks. So now what we're going to be doing is heading over to the knowledge base, and we're going to be placing two knowledge base nodes. And the reason why we're going to be doing this is because one of them is going to be utilizing the Vectorshift document. And the reason why this is the case is because I'm utilizing Vectorshift because they're going to be pretending to be the bidding party for the RFPs. This is obviously just a rough example, but you can create your own knowledge base. You can then name it whatever you want, add a description, change the configurations for the advanced settings. And once you have selected your own documentation or your own knowledge base, you can edit it so that there could be recursive files or recursive URLs, meaning that it is going to scrape the website recursively, and it will basically get the most up-to-date data or the most up-to-date information off of a website or web page or any sort of document. And you can do so by just clicking on add document. You can change the different loading types such as files, integrations, URL, recursive URL, and so many other options. If we are to click on recursive URL, you can just paste in the URL and you are going to be able to sync it super frequently. For example, minutely, hourly, daily, weekly, or even monthly. If you are to go to file, you can update or upload any sort of file type. You can go to integrations, where you can integrate other sorts of integrations such as Google, Copper, Discord, and so many other things. And you can see how intricate and robust this platform is, as it's going to allow you to add various sorts of files as well as integrations and third-party plugins as well. So what we're going to be doing now is just uploading a documentation for one of the knowledge bases, and this is something that will reference Vectorshift's database or its documents. And the reason why I said is because it's going to pretend to be the bidding party for the RFP. And now the second knowledge base reader is going to focus more on the previous projects that I've worked on within Vectorshift. For example, if we go over to the knowledge base, you'll see all the different projects that I've worked on within Vectorshift, and they're going to help me assist in terms of answering the questions for the bidding for the RFP. Now, I went along and I have added a new large language model node, and this is because it's going to be utilizing natural language processing to process the queries. And I told it a system prompt, or gave it a system prompt, where I said that you are an assistant for Vectorshift, a generative AI platform. I said that you receive a user question and an RFP, meaning that I have one input node over here where I've connected it to the knowledge base as well as the system OpenAI large language model node. And I went along and I also added another input node, and this is for the RFP. And this is where I will describe it a little bit better over here. So if you zoom in a little bit, I said that you will receive a user question as well as an RFP, meaning that questions will be sent over to this query and the different RFP bids will be sent over from this input node. And what it's going to be doing is that it's going to be leveraging the company's context as well as the previous project context to respond to the answer user question. Especially use previous project context to reference examples of projects that are similar to the RFP. And this way, it's going to ensure that the answer is relevant to the RFP. So what I also said is that you need to make sure that the answer of the question is going to directly be proposed, and it's going to be something that you can submit as a proposal. So it's going to make sure that it will consolidate the response a little bit better for the bidding. So to configure this, you will then need to go over to the prompt section. You will then have it so that the first input node is going to be for the user question, which is going to be connected to the knowledge base. And this also is going to be connected to the other knowledge base. So the question will go through both of the knowledge bases, and they're both going to be connected by different prompts. So you set this user node or this user input node, the first one, as the user question, and then you also create one for the RFP, which is the other node. And then you connect the other two, I would say, knowledge bases by naming it context as well as previous project context, which is the second knowledge base reader. And from here, you can then utilize different models. For example, we're utilizing the OpenAI GPT-4 Omni model, but you can utilize any of the other models as well as open source models. And from here, you can then submit it to the output node. And now what you can do is you can just simply deploy all the changes that are made. You can deploy it as a chatbot or an automation. You can then click on the run button and so that you can test it out. And with the integration of these two knowledge bases, it's going to basically allow for this automation to provide better quality answers. For we're going to be utilizing these two knowledge bases, which can actually specify specific instructions on how the large language model GPT-4 Omni should be utilizing the specific respective data. And it's going to be able to give better intricate answers with this full-on automation. So let's test this out. What I'm going to be doing is heading over to the deploy pipeline button. I basically have pushed out this dashboard, and what I'm going to be doing now is uploading this RFP, which is something that generally happens. We're going to simply upload this RFP for a request for an AI chatbot, and I'm going to ask it a user question. This is where I'm going to say, how can Vectorshift assist to build an AI chatbot? I am super slow at typing, so sorry about that. But let's click run, and it's going to now reference the context that we have provided, and it's going to give you a good answer from the documentation. So you can see this is how it is basically going to be able to process something, how very likely a question would be sent from an RFP, and it's going to be able to automate that question, which you see on the right hand side. And the great thing is that it's actually grabbing the data from the RFP that it actually needs. So it is going to make sure that it provides the most relevant answers. And it's going to basically request the RFP and how we're going to be able to help from the Vectorshift standpoint, as they are the bidders. And you can see that it's actually talking about all the different pieces that are relevant from the questions, and it's going to give you a good detailed answer. This is just based off the file that we uploaded and based off the documentation and the context that we have uploaded. And the great thing is that you can then export this as a chatbot. So you can deploy this and you can click on the chatbot's functionality, and then you can name it something so that you can then share it with other people. So you can say AI automation for RFP, and then you can just give it a description, RFP, and then you can just simply click save, and then you can configure this so that it could be exported. And you can go over to the functionality, you can style it, add different functionalities by giving it a display description, username, a bot name. Then you can export this. You can have it so that you can access it as a link, or you can have it so that it's embedded into a website. And this is something that you can manage fully within Vectorshift. And that's basically how you can automate an RFP. This was something that I was able to do quite easily. Now, this is definitely something that you can easily automate for companies as well as clients and customers. And this is something that could be very lucrative if you are to know how to do this from this video, obviously, but if you're able to find the right leads and how you're going to be able to deliver it. This is something that I truly recommend that you try out, as it's something that is very lucrative and it's something that I've actually tried multiple times. I will leave all the links that I use in today's video in the description below. But with that thought, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely take a look at Vectorshift with the link in the description below. Make sure you follow me on Patreon, because this is a great way for you to access subscriptions completely for free. Make sure you take a look at Twitter, because this is a great way for you to stay up to date with the latest AI news. And lastly, make sure you guys subscribe, turn on the notification bell, like this video, and check out our previous videos so you can stay up to date with the latest AI news. But with that thought, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Have an amazing day, spread positivity, and I'll see you guys fairly shortly. Peace out, fellas.